All right, so this is I'm hopefully I'm keeping accurate count. Episode 13. I'm here with Lincoln Steven again. This episode's
Yes,
gonna
hello.
be more of a quick one. Um, we're not going to go in depth with the NFL this weekend. Um, we might just kind of review a couple games, maybe do predictions, but this is a baseball focused one. Um, I know me and Steven posted our predictions before on our accounts before the first wild card game happened. I guess we could start
Yeah.
talking about that. I mean, I think we both took the Yankees and they lost. I don't think either of us had
No,
them
I,
getting past Tampa, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, I don't know. It was more just I was a bit worried about Cole after after the you can say after the sticky whatever. I don't really care, but he's also had some injuries. He's battled some bad luck, and I don't know. I trust Eovaldi a
Oh yeah,
lot. I've
I
trusted him a lot this year. I think. I mean, I don't. I know he's like a 3.6 ERA, but I don't know. Just he's a big game guy. It's in Boston. I
I
just felt comfortable taking Boston.
yeah, I need to
Over there.
correct myself. Yeah, you did take Boston there.
Yeah.
We both have the Dodgers tonight. I really am
Yes,
hoping.
sir.
I have this weird feeling that whoever wins, okay, and I mean, I'm not sure if we're in total agreement here. I'm looking at yeah, because you got the Rays and the Giants. I have this weird
Mhm.
feeling that whoever wins the Astros White Sox series is going to win the American League, and whoever wins the game tonight is going to win the National League.
Honestly, that take might pay off real big. I don't know.
Um,
I trust the Rays winning the pennant a lot. I've trusted them since like May.
oh
But I mean, the Astros have the most experience in the playoffs. I mean, you can never count them out. Like they gave the Rays a real hard time even last year.
yeah, I agree.
Um, they're threatening, and the White Sox are really good
The
too.
White
Obviously, they
Sox.
got a really good young team, and they got some good veterans. They
See,
got some grizzled veterans, so you know
the way
it's a
I
good matchups there.
the way I see it for me is that I feel like anything can happen in either league. I'm not. I feel like every team still alive could win it all.
Hmm.
But I guess the thing with the National League that I look at it is the reason I'm taking this take is because I feel like the Dodgers and the Giants. Okay, that'll be a close one. I think they'll fight each other. I feel like the Cardinals line up well against pretty much everyone that would be alive if they knock out the Dodgers. Um, they've played the Giants well. They played the Brewers well. Historically, they're a menace for the Braves. Um, so I mean, that's kind of the confidence I have in them. The Dodgers, it's kind of similar. I mean, they don't play the Giants too well, but we could still win. Uh, we've played the Brewers and the Braves both very well.
Honestly, whoever wins that series probably is going to win the World Series. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I went with the Giants, but I had it going in 5 games.
Yeah.
And keeping in mind too, this is going to be the Dodgers are not going to have their best starter pitch until like game 3. I mean, he's going to be on innings limit tonight if they are winning. So they can use him as much as they can in the DS, but he's not going to pitch till game 3. It's going to start in San Francisco for 2 games. Like the Giants have those two advantages down. So going to 5 games is pretty big compliment in the Dodgers terms, honestly. And I think everyone would probably have them going 5 games no matter what. But it's not like you can really count on any of those and either of them, honestly. Whoever they're both just such juggernauts within the aspect, like the league itself more than the series.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that if it happens at all, it would have to come this soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, but I guess Link, I'm not sure if you ever posted bracket predictions. Like who are you banking on here?
No, all right. So in tonight's game, I do think in terms of if you want to go for a pick based on momentum, definitely Cardinals. But in terms of just pure talent, I think the Dodgers will win tonight, just based on that metric alone. And once again, this is a Dodgers team that look like they're going to make another World Series run. I mean, they may be a wild card. You look at them, they're a wild card team, but not really. This team was almost at final day they could actually just won the 1 seed in the National League. They're still really strong. I still think they are World Series contenders. In terms of the American League, now this is honestly, I feel like Tampa is once again very. I mean, they are very good, but I feel like this. Honestly, I had my predictions a rematch of last year between the Rays and Los Angeles.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but like I I feel like any team can do it. I feel like you can't even count out like some of the perceived weaker links like Boston or Atlanta, um, because
Atlanta's issue just like heavily relies on like bad bullpen,
yeah, but they've
and
been hot. The Braves have been coming into the postseason hot. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
you're
I mean,
right.
it's not like a super competitive division, but they're definitely a way better team than they were in the first half. I want to just
Yeah.
ask real quick because I feel like this might get kind of like I feel like we might kind of brush over this, and I kind of want to prioritize it. What would you say is like your hottest take of the play that's going to happen in the playoffs? Because I mean, obviously, it's like what it's going to be like 20 games. There's going to be some crazy things that's going to happen. What are your
Um,
biggest general hot takes of the way things going to transpire this year?
I don't
I know,
know.
Saul, you kind of already said that Astro Sox one, but if you got something else too, just feel free.
I, I mean, I don't know if any of these takes they have are necessarily hot because I feel like the Rays are the favorites, but I don't think people are counting out the Astros or the White Sox necessarily.
Well, I think they can be like about like a general player or anything as well. Like, I don't think you have to like just make them like team related because I
Uh,
agree that can get really like that get really stuffy.
I think if the
Stuffy is a bad
Dodgers
word.
have a good run, I think Corey Seager's gonna have another insane postseason.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, he got really hot towards the end of the year too. He finished real strong.
Yeah, he's gonna pay. He's playing for that big payout.
Yes, sir. I mean, he's like the second youngest guy in the shortstop class, so age is going to be. I mean, I don't know if age is going to be a huge factor, but it is definitely going to be a factor. So
Yeah,
this might be destiny in the making for the guy.
yeah.
I don't know. For me, I was thinking kind of teams. I had the Giants. I had the Giants winning it all. And that's mostly just because I thought they beat the Dodgers. I think they'll just beat everyone else. But I am going to 7 games with the Brewers, and I'm going to 6 games with the Rays. And like looking back on it, like I feel less like I feel that pick was unnecessarily risky, but but I kind of appreciated it more because that honestly, I don't know. It's just the Brewers, like their rotation's just unfathomably good, and their offense got a lot better in the second half, like a lot better.
Yeah.
And the Rays are really good. I'm not going to count the Rays out or anything, but they are a bit shorthanded. It just feels like one of these series is going to last less than 7 games, and I know everyone feels safer going 7 games with the more decisive matchups. Like, oh, it's just this one game is just going to decide it all. But I don't know. I mean, we saw it last year. I think the Rays and Dodgers were pretty well matched up. The Rays did really well in the playoffs, and the Dodgers were the Dodgers, obviously. But
Yeah.
and that just the Dodgers won that in 6. I honestly think the Giants could probably do the same thing.
I
It's
feel
going to be a
like
great matchup no matter what. But
I feel like
I don't know.
Dodgers. I feel like the Dodgers were a bit like. I guess in the World Series, I feel like with considering that maybe that the Rays kind of had to kind of limp in there, almost getting reverse swept, whereas the Dodgers came in steaming. I didn't really see that. I kind of felt that we were like comfortable but not heavy favorites going into that one. But I can see your point.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
know. I mean, I'm trying to think of who's in it. I know the division matchups made it kind of close, but I don't know. I had confidence in the Dodgers going into the whole thing. I mean, obviously, like they made it contentious, but I mean, it was. Well, I guess I'll say once they got into the World Series, I think everyone kind of knew that the Dodgers were gonna take it.
yeah, I feel like I feel like just thinking about this game that's upcoming, the thing that kind of
Mhm.
comforts me is that the last year when the team played its best when its back was against the wall. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, I mean, yes, they did sweep early. Uh, they took care of the Brewers and the Padres with relative ease, but I mean, when the pressure was on against Atlanta, the team played better. When the pressure was on against Tampa Bay, coming off that like really, really, really awful way to lose Game 4, the team played well. Um, so that's just kind of my optimism there. But I mean, this is an interesting tidbit. The Cardinals are going into this with 11 straight road wins. The Dodgers are going into this with 15 straight home wins. Someone's going to have to lose it tonight.
Oh damn, that's like the Game 7 thing in the
Yeah.
NBA Finals.
Hmm.
That's gonna be fun. That's pretty cool though. I mean, yeah, these are like just two red hot teams. It's a pretty good wild card matchup, honestly, for people who are keeping track. Obviously, not turning on the playoffs because the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a great
It's gonna be
wild
really
card
exciting.
matchup, but I just hate that it has to be do or die in one. Oh my god. It's nervous, but I guess
It's always valid,
we
but
could kind of
MLB just kind of being a broken record at this point. Sorry to keep rambling on. What
I
are you saying?
guess we could kind of break down like each matchup though. We'll start with the Braves and the
All right, let's go.
Brewers.
Let's
We'll
go.
start with
Let's
the
go.
Braves and the Brewers. Link, if you want to give us any thoughts on kind of that series.
Yeah. The Braves are going into this. They got momentum. They still have really hot bats, except for still missing crucial bats and pitching. The Brewers are, I think they're mostly healthy, right? For the
Yeah,
most
Yeah,
part.
they really don't have anyone injured.
Yeah, their
Well, Devin
rotation.
Williams, obviously,
Oh,
but yeah, got sacrificed to the baseball god, sadly. But yeah, other than that, they're looking pretty good.
yeah, their rotation is top 3 in baseball.
yeah.
They have their bats. I mean, like Steven said, their bats were not really impressive going before the All-Star break. Then they really started hitting the ball somewhat well. I feel like this is going to be another series. You know what? I'm just going to predict it. The game there, it will go to 5 games, and Atlanta will manage to die in Game 5 in some way or fashion.
Oh yeah, There's no
Either-
way Atlanta's winning Game 5 if it goes to Game 5.
Yeah, it's either going to be Game 5 is going to be a situation where they get blown out extremely early, like Game 1 or Game 5 of 2019, or the game was just extremely competitive and losing a walk-off. Because God hates the Atlanta Braves, and we can't have our season end in like some sort of whatever way. It's got to be some like middle finger. But yeah, it's just how it is.
I feel like of like the matchups the Braves could have gotten. I feel like even though the Brewers are like definitely killer and like absolutely scary, I feel like this is probably the best one they could have gotten.
I mean, they're worse than the Giants and they're worse than the Giants and Dodgers.
They're
Or
worse.
well,
Yeah, they're worse.
Dodgers for sure.
I would say that yeah, the Giants and Dodgers are better. And then the thing with the Cardinals though is that the Cardinals historically are just a nightmare for the Braves.
Oh yeah, that's true. That Game 5.
The even before that, and the Dodgers are pretty bad for them
Yeah.
historically as well. It's I think all. I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick, Link, but I think all of their 2010s postseason eliminations came to one of those two teams.
The
So
Cardinals are
yeah.
I think you're right. You may be right.
Um.
But yeah. Something I guess that this is the best matchup. I mean, considering you look at Atlanta's offense versus or hold on, let me rephrase that. It's probably a good thing we're playing the Brewers, considering we have pitching and they have batting, and then we got very good bats against their very good pitching rotation.
Yeah.
So it kind of just like complements each other and make it very competitive.
I think the thing that I mean people might miss is pitching can just turn on suddenly, and if the Braves, I mean, they have pitchers that have the talent in them to throw just some ridiculous games. If they can pitch one or two really good games like that, and the bats can take care of the rest, they can
Yeah, like
definitely
Matt
upset
Freed
this one.
last postseason.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, too. Like that outfield is pretty dirty. Like I mean, like if you think about it, basically their whole outfield just basically they acquired at the deadline. All right, like Duvall, Jock, Eddie Rosario, and Soler, 4 outfielders, and they've all impressed in the second half. Like I mean, to varying degrees, obviously, but Rosario was horrible in Cleveland, and he's on track to have another decent above average or so season because he's been so great at Atlanta. Soler obviously finally remembered who he was. Jock's been all right. I mean, it's been kind of a down year for the guy, but he's been decent. He's been okay. He's been all right in Atlanta.
we all know
He's a
how
solid outfielder.
Jocktober goes, though.
Yeah, oh, yeah, and Jocktober, I forgot about that. And then Duvall obviously mashes. So I mean, they've been hot in the second half. Like there's no doubt too. And this is like not even including Freddie Freeman. Like they're great bats, and
Yeah,
obviously are missing Acuna, but
or Austin
yeah,
Riley.
yeah. But this
Yeah.
is going to be a good matchup because them and the Brewers have they're kind of in similar they're in similar areas as like to how they're getting the postseason, how their strengths are gonna match up. It's not extremely dissimilar. It's just kind of the gap in talent between the teams, I guess, is driving a wedge and everyone's excitement. But it's going to be exciting still. I mean, I wouldn't count out this match at
These
all.
two teams are definitely closer than their records would indicate. I think that's the
Yeah.
best way to put it. I think I'll go, in my predictions. I had the Brewers, but I think the Braves are like the perfect storm for an upset on Milwaukee.
Yeah, that'd be pretty. I mean, I'm still gonna go Brewers in 4 just because the rotation's like that good. But honestly, yeah, I could see this going to 5. I could see the Braves tipping this in their scale. It really just, I mean, they've shown up in the playoffs before. Um, maybe not like, I mean, even last year we've seen it, and
Yeah,
they
but I
managed
mean,
to keep
last
themselves
year,
competitive some years. But I mean, again, it's just I mean, the Brewers are stronger, but they could make this close. What are you saying, Link, about last year?
I don't know. Last year was just because of the playoffs. I mean, we played Cincinnati in round 1, and then we went out and played the Marlins. And then to our
Well,
round 2.
don't discount yourself, man. All right, Cincinnati last year was like dirtier than you'd think. Okay. Well, I guess it was most of the rotation, but like they had like Mickey Mouse, Trevor Bauer, putting the ultimate season together.
They had a the Cincinnati was a good trap team. I think that's maybe the way to put it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's why
That's
they
good.
didn't score.
Well,
I mean, I don't know. I think the Braves could keep this one close. I'm still just gonna go Brewers in 4. I'm just going my gut
yeah.
here on this one, but
I guess we could
we'll
talk
see.
about. I guess the series I'm kind of most excited for Chicago against Houston.
Yeah, it's gonna be really fun. It's like the perfect matchup too, because it feels like the Astros are like the most veteran-like playoff team. The White Sox, who've been in the playoffs for 3 games, where there were no fans in Oakland, could have matched up against. Like this is like, it's just gonna be a lot of buzz.
Yeah, it's gonna be
It's gonna be
interesting to
really fun.
see. I think the big thing here is that the Astros have the best hitting core in the postseason, but the White Sox are definitely a much more balanced team. Um, like, but even then, lineup versus lineup, there's a lot of quality in it. Obviously the headline players. You have the guys like I'd say Houston's best player, Correa, and then you're gonna have guys like Bregman, Altuve, Tucker, Jordan, and then of course on the other end for Chicago, you're gonna have. I mean, you can debate who their headline player is. You could say Grandal. You could say it's Moncada. You could say it's Anderson. And there's also the reigning American League MVP, Jose Abreu, Eloy
Mhm.
Jimenez, Luis Robert. I mean, it's a lot of talent on display.
Yeah, there's a
Houston,
lot of star power up front. I mean,
Houston.
I
Oh,
no, you go. Okay,
Houston
I'll keep coming after you.
probably has the weakest rotation left. Um, I wouldn't say it's a bad rotation though, but it's definitely I don't think it stacks up well against the remaining ones, and that would include the White Sox, who I'm not sure who they're pitching game one, but they're gonna throw Giolito, Cease, Lynn out there. Their fans probably don't want to see Dallas Keuchel out there. That's all I know.
Hell no.
But and of course they have that two-headed monster in that bullpen of well, it's not just a two-headed monster, but they have that they have that two-headed closing monster of Kimbrel and Hendricks, and of course you have guys like Kopech and um Crochet. So that's going to be that's a pretty interesting one. I guess if you have any predictions for that series, you can go ahead.
I was just going to interject. I honestly think the Astros probably have the better hitting overall. And I mean, they've been better statistically, but the Sox also work with a lot of adversity this year. Anderson was kind of off and on with injuries. Elo's out for like basically until August. Robert was out for a considerable portion of the season, and we saw how good he was when he was healthy.
Yeah,
So that's obviously work.
that's fair. There's some
Outstanding hitter or anything, but they lost him too for the season. Then he got traded.
Yeah.
And Cesar Hernandez has definitely not had the production that he would have had. I mean, they're working against a lot of conditions here, but honestly, I think that makes this kind of a good upset round here. I'm not gonna lie, like that the perfect storm, kind of like team working with a lot of adversities, got everything, all the pieces back for a healthy start in October.
I think this is going to be, depending on the National League wild card result, I think this is going to be the closest series that we're going to get.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that.
I think these are two teams that they have a bright present and a bright future. I would say that the iron might be hottest for the both of them this year. Obviously, with Chicago, you have a pretty you have that just like last time that they had a team that you thought they could win a championship. That menace in Detroit was starting to build up something, and for the Astros, this might be their last ride with someone as great as Carlos Correa is.
Yeah.
So I think these are two teams that are going to want to win, and they're going to want to win it now. Both have solid futures, though. Not to say that they don't.
Mm-hmm.
But
the Astros are in a bit of a weird spot, but I think they'll be good for the next few years at least.
yeah, I agree. White Sox especially have a really nice future, regardless of how good Detroit can be. But I'm gonna say Astros in 5. But honestly, if I feel like if the White Sox can steal a game in the first 2 sets, I think they can finish it off in Chicago.
Yeah, I honestly don't disagree with that. I was saying too, like that's why, like I was saying yesterday, I think they might go with Lynn just so they can get kind of that, like the playoff experience, calm the nerves and everything like that right off the bat in Houston. Because if you can take that momentum away game one, it's gonna be huge. I also had Astros in 5 though. I don't know. I just think the Astros are like they're the safer pick. They have more playoff experience. It's starting in Houston, and that's really big for a 5-game series. If you can get a lot of momentum going at your home park at first, you don't even really have to that's huge. That's huge.
I honestly
So
think though
I'm going with Astros.
I don't even think Giolito would be a bad pick for game one because his one playoff experience was a master class.
Yeah, no, he was really good. But like this is 44,000 people we're talking about in Houston. You're like no Sox player, no Sox young player has experienced this thus far. It's just a lot. I think that when you're looking at two relatively even pitchers, statistically, I leaned Lynn. I understood why he would go with Lynn or why Lewis would go with Lynn. And so that's what I'm just saying. I think that they're going to try to kind of skew those their determinants or their knocks, whatever you'd say, their detractors. I think starting Lynn game one was their idea of doing that, but I don't know. I'm kind of rambling on a little bit here. Anyone else have anything?
Yeah, Link, if you have a prediction,
I will give Houston in 4.
It's kind of bold.
Yeah.
Not that bold, but
yeah.
but
Anything can happen.
It's not that bold.
I think the White Sox are going to be able to like get a confident win, but I think, like you said, playoff experience, the fact that
Yeah.
the Astros in the locker room thinking, all right, only got only got a few more years of the championship window. Let's hurry it up. Let's go ahead and get another one before it ends.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. No,
think,
I don't disagree.
That's entirely fair.
and I'm not. This isn't a dig against the White Sox because, like, very young, very impressive. They won their division for whenever, I don't know. They're in terms of upside, one of the best upsides right now in terms of where
Yeah.
they are, how competitive they can be, and what they should be next year and the following. So yeah, it's just they're going up against a Houston team that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. No. No. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we could jump to. Well, do you want to talk about Dodgers Giants again, or you want to go to
Well,
Red Sox Rays?
let's talk about the Red Sox and the Rays. Yeah.
All right. This is an interesting. I mean, it's obviously the AL East matchup, but I mean, both these teams are really good. I mean, the Rays obviously they were like better than they were last year, and they got like Wander Franco midseason. They got Wander Franco midseason. They got like McClanahan midseason. Shane Baz like last few games in September. He's their game 2 starter already. And they lost Glass now, but they're working with a lot. Like they really don't have many weaknesses. It's not a team that's gonna with like a ton of standout players statistically, but like the guys they do have are really like their team in front is really good. And the Red Sox more standout players for sure. Bit of a weaker team. Their bullpen's got some question marks. I they like there were rumblings they were going after Kimbrel. I thought they were the front runner honestly before the White Sox picked them up. Just because that was going to be a perfect fit. Like Barnes moving that 8th inning role to have Kimbrel close seemed like
Yeah.
destiny in the making, and the return to Boston and everything. But that didn't come to fruition. So Barnes still their 9th inning guy. I mean, they have some good pieces. I mean, it's not like the bullpen is like they have Whitlock. Not sure. I think Houck's going to be starting, but Whitlock's been fantastic this year. Sawamura has been pretty solid. Definitely going to forget guys that they have in their bullpen, but those are the 3 that jump out at me like immediately. Um, that I can put my finger on. But it's there. I think the bullpen's been the biggest weakness for LA. I don't know. What do you think, Saul or Link?
I mean, I think yeah. I mean, I haven't paid too much attention to Boston, if I'm totally honest. So
I mean, neither have I. I'm kind of just. I mean, they're a big market team, so I know who they have. But yeah, not. I mean, I've just been kind of in and out.
I don't think I'd be able to like analyze their intricacies as well as I could other teams. Like like
Mhm.
the White Sox, I paid a good deal of attention to.
Sure, yeah, that's understandable.
But to say though, I mean they're capable of devastating teams. Uvalde's hot. I mean Chris Sales looked good in his return.
Mhm.
Bogarts, Devers. I mean it's a dangerous team. I'm kind of curious to see if JD Martinez will be back. I feel like they can give Tampa a big fit when they're in Boston. And I guess kind of speaking that wild card game, man. I hate the monster. Like I don't I'm not a Yankees fan, but like man, we were robbed of like some cool Giancarlo moments.
Yeah, that was devastating. I'm not gonna lie.
Um, it's funny because
And
whenever they hit a home run and they didn't go towards the monster, it was just a yeah.
yeah, it was just crazy.
But wild card game aside, I mean they definitely deserve the win regardless of stadium dimensions and whatnot. Um,
Yeah,
though, yeah. I mean Yankee fans definitely wish that it was at home. But that ignore that. Like I said, Boston deserved to win that game. Um, I feel like they can give Tampa a fit in one game at home, but I just like the Rays too much to not see them execute and win. I mean, I'm a Kevin Cashball truther.
Yeah,
I'm
Kevin
not
Cash,
I'm
he's
not
ultimate knowable.
I'm not very public about it because I mean I don't I'm not one that talks about the Rays too much, but when I see them, I mean I like what Kevin Cash does. He's definitely still kind of overhated for one decision by some people, but I mean I trust his process. I think the Rays will come out on top. I feel like Wander Franco is gonna have a big series. Um and it's postseason Randy, so that's gonna be fun to see.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And he was off to a really hot start in the second half. So I'm not sure how he finished, but I remember he was in that like real high WRC plus range for a month or so there.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be really good storyline. I mean, I really agree with you completely. I had the Rays winning this in four.
That's what I'm
I
thinking as
honestly, even if they
well.
play the Yankees, I had a match of probably winning one at home, and but otherwise dropping the series. I think the Rays are gonna come out with this one pretty
Yeah,
easily.
I agree. I think that the Red Sox will give them a fit in one game in Boston, but the Rays are going to win it overall. And
Yeah,
just
exactly.
checking Randy right now. Okay, let me go splits.
While you're checking Link, what do you got? Who do you got?
I agree with both of you. I think it's also good.
Sort of picked any sweeps yet, but I mean, picking a sweep in the playoffs is just really risky. I mean, even the
It's a risky gamble, but I respect taking the Rays to sweep this. To be honest,
yeah, I do too. I mean, even like the most like even the worst matchups I've seen, like I don't know if you remember the NLCS in 2017. Like I thought there was no way the Cubs were winning that. I mean, even they got a win out of that series.
yeah,
So I mean, it's difficult to sweep. That's just what we're I guess it's
I guess that's
what we're
just
all
how
thinking.
how the playoffs are designed based like the MLB. Like you look at I get that's probably because of how there's only 5 teams per league making the postseason. I mean, it's not like hockey and like basketball where there's just like fillers or you have like a 1 versus 8, and it's like, well, pick them for the sweep.
yeah.
Baseball,
Yeah,
like
no, I get it.
it used to be just 4, and then they had the wild card game, which I
Damn that
mean,
wild card game.
Yeah, the
yeah,
wild card game is so bad.
yeah. So I mean, we've always, I mean, that means you always have like really the best teams going up against each other. You don't have like any fluke. Well, okay, Cardinals this year, but I'm sorry, that was mean.
No, it's okay.
I'm not gonna follow you for a Link.
Yeah, that's just how it is.
It's kind of
But
funny.
yeah, no, I
It's
agree.
kind of funny, and the format with no wild card game. That that Yankees Red Sox game still happens like in the exact same way.
That's pretty nuts. Wait, does it? Because I think the White Sox have the worst record in the American League.
No, because then the Yankees and the Red Sox would have had a play instead of being a wild card game, they would have just considered it game 163 and still would
Wait,
have
no,
been
I'm
played
an
in
idiot.
Boston.
Anyway. Yeah. No, I'm a bozo. I'm a bozo. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me, guys.
So I looked at Randy's splits. His second half this year total was a 158 WRC plus. His September was a 129, so that was pretty good to say the
Yeah, that's
least.
really solid. Coming in strong.
Yeah, his month of August was almost at 200 at 197.
Yes. I mean, yeah, he was really hot like to begin with. Like I don't know, he was approaching that 200 threshold, and I know because I was following with Frank Schwindel being so hot as well. I was pretty active on those second half leaderboards, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's been great. I don't know if we talked about this enough already. I just kind of want to go back to the Giants Dodgers series because
Whoa,
I feel
that's
like we
not a
need to give it more
guarantee yet,
justice.
man.
I forgot.
That is
Okay, let's
different.
just assume it's Giants Dodgers. All right, let's just assume it's Giants Dodgers because I just want to
We
talk
could
about
assume
this.
it's both for the sake of it. We could talk a bit about how one
Okay.
matchup.
Let's be fair. Let's give the Cardinals their due shot because I know Saul wouldn't care if ever any other team besides the Dodgers just doesn't want me to jinx it. Um,
Yeah.
they're yeah, exactly. So let's do Giants Dodgers first. Though. I mean, we can make this quick. 2 matchups. We don't have to dive into 2 hypotheticals here. But one thing I just really want to focus on is I talked about this too before, but it really is an advantage for the Giants going into it with their like official game 1 and 2 starters to start in San Francisco, whereas while the Dodgers are going to be going with their 2 and 3, who admittedly are still good. Bueller and Urias are fantastic. But again, the Giants got that home field advantage. They got their 2 best starters. Dodgers will be without Scherzer until they go back to LA, presumably for game 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Probably game 3. Scherzer's real gritty.
But honestly, if there's anyone you want to lean on in a game 3, which is always very big, whether it's pinning the opponent down or staying alive or knocking them out, it's definitely Max Scherzer.
Oh yeah. He's gonna be. He's gonna have him. He's gonna be. He's also a pending free agent for the Dodgers.
Yeah. Oh, we have a lot of pending free agents that definitely they're gonna want some. They're gonna want some bags.
Yeah, no, I know, and he's at the top of that list, no doubt. All right. I also wanted to add. Sorry, I got flustered there for a second. I mean, one Cubs fan I talked to just keeps constantly egging me on about this the Scherzer the Cubs take, or that he thinks like he's going through his free agent. I mean, I'm not saying it's like I'm not talking this as like a bozo guy or anything. I'm just saying this guy's saying. I it's hard for me to see the fit, but I'm not gonna complain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that.
Corson.
I think for Scherzer, I'm thinking realistically here. There's 2 things that'll happen. The league once again takes the Bauer money off the hook, and he stays in Los Angeles, or we're screwed, and he might go back to Washington or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's definitely going to go to a contender. He's going to get a bag, no question. I mean, like I don't want to talk too much free agency until free agency, but we'll see how the situation plays out. Who's the Dodgers game 4 starter again? Because I kind of still.
We might go with a 3-man rotation if I'm being totally honest here for the
Yeah,
division
that's what I
series
thought.
at least.
Because Kershaw's out. I thought it might be like Price or something, but I don't know.
I think if we get to the championship series, I think we might have a bullpen game.
Oh yeah,
We did do that last year, so I don't think Roberts is against doing it again. But until we actually get to those kind of series, we'll probably just go with we'll go with the 3-man rotation if we can last past tonight.
Sounds all right.
But I feel like
because I didn't know if I was missing anyone or anything.
I feel like when you're looking at both matchups, though, Flaherty is healthy again, right?
Yeah, but he'll be on an innings limit.
That's fair.
He was pitching out of relief in the last series against the Cubs, I think.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting if Flaherty comes out of relief if needed. Obviously, it'll be like innings limit.
Honestly, I don't like. I'm not saying because Happ and Lester got really hot with the Cardinals, which was definitely unexpected. But their rotation is still so scary. No, like in a bad way. I'd be so scared to run those guys out in a legitimate series against the Giants or like the Brewers or something like that.
Yeah,
They've been made at that point.
Yeah, because the Cardinals, they're living off their hitting.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to give big props to their hitting coach Jeff. I'm gonna butcher his name. I think it's Odlick, right?
Oh my god, dude! I don't even, dude. I'm sure the hitting coach is due for Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado being as good as they. Okay, I'm not gonna do this. Okay, because this is just gonna end up me rambling about the Cardinals.
Let's not turn
Cardinals fans overrating their hitting coach, but
Giants.
No, the Cardinals hitting is really good. I won't deny. They deserve props. Tyler O'Neill. I mean, I had my doubts that he'd sustain his performance. I thought he'd still be good, but he was really good. He just got better. So, there's no doubt that he's going to be a big piece for them in the future, as well as in the playoffs. And he's so ripped. Dude, Tyler O'Neill, I don't know if you've ever seen Tyler O'Neill. You'll watch him tonight, Salt. He should not be playing baseball. Dude's playing the wrong MLB, all right? He should be playing middle linebacker. There's no chance this dude should be a left fielder on a baseball team.
Man, and then the scary thing, if any ball that has a good zip on it, it's going to center field. You think it might drop? Nah, Harrison Bader's just going to ruin that, and that scares me.
Yeah, exactly. And Lars Nootbaar, don't sleep on his plate discipline. He's also starting tonight. He gave the Cubs a bit of a ride. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Oh man, Nootbaar. Oh. Dude, that's the thing that scares me, man. The Cardinals just have good hitters, and that's the thing that scares me more than anything, man.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Just
only
got if you can calm that lineup down, it's gonna be a nice game. But it's hard to calm that lineup down.
the biggest fear for me is just that our bats are gonna go quiet because we're prone to that. But
That'd be very inconvenient.
um, but I'll just say this kind of because I do kind of want to talk about the Giants a little bit. I'll let you do that, but because they
Mhm.
deserve a little bit of spotlight as much as I despise
Oh
them.
yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
Um, Man, this game, as we're recording, I mean, this is gonna come out, and people are gonna laugh at like me for being so optimistic about the Dodgers. Be like, "Haha, you lost." Maybe, but I mean, this game is probably gonna be a one-run game. I just have that weird feeling this is gonna be more stressful than it has any right to be.
Yeah, I mean, I could understand that. Whether it's one, but the question is if it'll be 1 run high scoring or 1 run low scoring.
Yeah, that's really the
Um,
question.
yeah. So we'll see because great pitching matchup is a great hitting matchup. One of those probably gonna come out on top. We'll see which one.
Yeah. I guess
Um,
I'll let
I
you
think
talk
we
about
can
the
move on to the Giants though.
Giants now, though.
Yeah. I mean, Giants, they got no holes as a team. They're hitting like literally their entire team. Like people, like there's a stretch that what I like. I like to call it. The MLB Twitter stretch before the season where everyone gets like super psyched.
Yeah.
But if that stretch came through, that's what I'd probably classify the Giants' current season as. Their bullpen. I mean, I honestly would be surprised if anyone thought that this would be like the best team in the MLB's bullpen. But it's really working. I mean, they've had legitimate bullpen games where they just kicked ass. Like, oh my god! Like every role they've had with their guys is executed perfectly. Like Jose Alvarez, Zach Little, Dominic Leone. I mean, Harlan Garcia, Tyler Rogers. I said almost said his brother's name, and who's there? Oh yeah, Jake McGee. Like I mean, they've been so good this year. It's with a lot of names you wouldn't expect. I mean, even their rotation, Logan Webb has been better than anyone thought he'd be. Anthony Desclafani, Kevin Gossman, great players this year who definitely weren't on everyone's insanely good radar this season. Uh, and and their hitting is great. I mean, everyone. I mean, this is like watching vintage Giants, like 2011 Giants, or they didn't win the World Series in 2011, but like you get what I mean. Like in that area,
Yeah,
like
it's
kind of
kind of
those years.
insane the amount of career resurgences on that
Oh
team.
yeah, Longoria,
Posey.
Bell, yeah, Posey. I mean, I mean, even they got Chris Bryant too, obviously. Darren Ruff, part of one of the worst check swing calls we've seen this season. Salt.
That cost us the
Um,
division, man.
yeah, dude, I know that was something else. Oh, Brandon Crawford's been like a top shortstop this year. Like they just got a lot going
Brandon
for him,
Bell,
a
but
lot
he
of
might be
momentum.
out for a while.
Oh, was Brandon Bell out for a while?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I did not know
And
that.
then
Yeah,
of
I mean
course, and
that's
then
gonna be tough. But
of
also
course,
Lamonte Wade Jr.
yeah, I
So
was about to bring up, man, Lamont Wade Jr. Oh
oh
God.
Lamont, oh yeah,
That,
he's insane. He's got insanely good discipline. I mean
yeah.
that it's a really nice team. Head to foot. I mean they just got a lot going for them. And ultimately, that I mean, obviously, you get a series between them and the Dodgers. Probably going to be a World Series. Probably going to be like a determiner of the world of the who's representing the NL in the World Series. Maybe who's winning the World Series. Um, and ultimately, you're looking for advantages on either side. And the Giants, first 2 games at home. Max Scherzer not pitching until LA. It's just got a lot of going for them. It's just we'll see how it ends up, but I don't know. The Giants they got even against the Cardinals, they just have a lot. They just have a huge advantage being that NLDS going up against those wild card teams.
Yeah. Oh, I guess we can kind of wrap up baseball and switch gears.
We don't. Yeah. We got through. We got through.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got through every matchup, which is nice.
All
We'll get
right.
more into it. We come back next week, see what's going on.
Yeah. Hope it's kind of funny. We're gonna upload, but when I upload this, the Dodgers' fate's already gonna be decided. So hopefully, for the sake of this aging well, we advance because we gave them a good deal of airtime today.
Oh yeah.
So I guess we're gonna kind of go rapid fire through the NFL. We're not gonna cover every
Well, we have
matchup.
like a half hour. We have like a half hour till the game starts. But like, I mean,
Yeah, we're
you know, we can we'll definitely go through a little bit more quickly. We usually
um.
would.
So quickly, I kind of gave out a list of games that we're gonna kind of go somewhat not to our usual standard, but we're gonna go somewhat more in depth with it. But I'll just name out some of the other games that happened. Um, the Colts took care of the Dolphins. Dolphins offense still looks like a big problem. You kind of wonder if the desperation trade with Watson's coming. Colts get a big one. Browns and Vikings, good defensive battle. Browns came out on top. I could say that the reason why the Browns offense struggles is probably because Zimmer and Stefanski know each other well. Um, the Bills massacred Houston. That's taking care of business for Buffalo. The Chiefs offense destroyed Philadelphia, but their defense probably made the game more stressful than it needed to be, but they still won by a somewhat comfortable 12 points. The Packers beat the Steelers by 10. There was somewhat of a controversial call. Would that have really changed the game, though? Probably not. Pittsburgh really couldn't get it going on offense. They did get 17 points, which is solid, but after that first touchdown
Steelers,
drive,
they just cannot. They just cannot run my takes.
yeah,
Sadly,
the Ravens took care of the Broncos handily. Teddy Bridgewater suffered a concussion, but by even then, it kind of felt imminent that Baltimore was going to take a win. And the Chargers took care of business against the Raiders at quote unquote home because
We'll get into that too.
Los Angeles is the second heart of
I think
Raider
we'll get into
Nation.
that too a little bit more because this week they got that. This week that's gonna be a factor in their matchup week 5. So we'll get into that a little bit more later. I think.
Herbert looked good. Carr was a little more inconsistent. He had that beautiful throw and catch to Henry Ruggs though, but it's nice to see Ruggs do a lot better this year. But the Chargers
Yeah.
have looked like a powerhouse so far. So that kind of leads us into the games that we're going to devote some time into. I guess we'll start with the Urban Meyer show.
Link call this. Link should probably take lead on this.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Really, you want to call, we call, John Gruden, right? The Gruden grinder.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows this. I think we should give that name to Urban Meyer. He should be the true grinder of the NFL. Of NFL head coaching.
Oh my god, that was hilarious.
But yeah, he was partying. He was doing all. There's already like a huge list already of every like stupid thing Urban Meyer has done, including not traveling with his team after I think it was after that loss in Cincinnati.
Yep.
It was. Yep, I was right. Yeah. So, yeah, great way.
Yeah.
Get your teammates or get your players behind you, and after one of your most competitive. This was their most competitive game of the season, and they almost won.
Hey, man. I'm gonna say this: it's hard to get a coach to get a 53-man roster and a practice squad to agree on everything. But you know what? They did. He got it. He got them to all agree he's a clown. And that's team culture right there.
Yeah, this is
It only took 4 weeks too.
This is Bobby Petrino. This is Bobby Petrino at Atlanta 2.0. Except this may be a little. This maybe might no this.
Yeah.
Like you could like admit like Bobby Petrino really didn't have a lot to work with when he was this when he coached. I think they drafted Matt Ryan. I'm pretty sure that's the year Vic went to jail. I think they still had like who was their running back at the time? What was that Turner, right? Yeah, yeah, and all that. But Jesus Christ, I mean, you can't say that Urban Meyer didn't have anything to build with, or at least like it went. so far this with the talent he has. I mean, with Robinson, how he showed up last year and really made really impressed people with how you had you currently have the number 1 overall pick in this last year's draft, Trevor Lawrence. You had it should not be this bad from where he came from and how he's gonna it ain't gonna fit, which everyone thought because college coaches don't transition well in the NFL. Debo signing that, Todd, what did he do during that? I forgot. He did something stupid during training camp.
Who, Urban Meyer?
Yeah.
I think he basically openly admitted that the players' vaccination status played into their decision to be cut, which is something that you keep a secret because what is it? You don't want the Players Association to get upset.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, there was something else. I think. Yeah. So it was about those. I think it was about the players got into a fight or something. But yeah. You got. He's canned. He's already got over him. He's already got the fans after him. He's got his players not on his side. No one likes him. He's playing 3 games of chess and he in each match.
Yeah.
Which he is. I'll say I called it when we'll come back next week and then find out that he got a phone call from Los Angeles saying, "Hey, we're offering you the USC job." So,
yeah. I guess about the game itself, though, Trevor Lawrence definitely looked very impressive. Laviska Shenault was pretty good. Dan Arnold had his debut as a Jaguar. Unfortunately, Sam Darnold to Dan Arnold is no more. James Robinson had a good game. The real stars of the show, though, of course, were Joe Burrow, who dominated. Joe Mixon had a good game. Really good overall receiving performance by the Bengals. I believe T. Higgins was absent, but Tyler Boyd, C.J. Ozema, and Jamar Chase were all fairly good. Were all not fairly, both fair, all really good. Jamar Chase's first career game without a touchdown, which is kind of astounding. It kind of just says how good he's been.
Yeah.
Of course, Tyler Boyd was the top receiver, but overall, it was a really good game. Came down the wire. The Jags did blow a big lead, but I gotta say, the Bengals have been off to a very impressive start. Certainly better than I think most would have anticipated. But I guess if we can move forward, Link, I'm sorry.
what?
Dude, I hate you, man. All right, you cannot diss me, dude. All right, this is my slam dunk pick last week,
What did
and
I
it's
do?
BS curse. I'm sure
I
you've
wasn't.
been jinxing
I
the
wasn't
Titans all
coaching.
year, dude. You were saying, oh, they're gonna lose to the Colts because they're playing in Indianapolis. This is just bound to happen.
Man, why are we getting
I
on
just
Link
wasn't
like
ahead of it.
this, man? What the?
It's not my fault.
I gotta
didn't
get someone
coach
to
the
blame for
team.
this shit, man. All right, this
I
can't
didn't.
stand. All right.
I mean, I didn't coach this team. In fact, I don't think anyone. I don't think Mike Vrabel even coached this team on Sunday because, Jesus Christ,
Hell no.
Dude, if you
awful.
want to know how
fortunate. I was fortunate enough not to watch this game. I got off work at 11 a.m. and I was like, Titans are gonna win. I'm not gonna tongue point and
oh god. If you want to know how crazy the Titans missed AJ Brown and Julio Jones, Derrick Henry carried the ball 33 times. That's how much they missed him. I mean, Tannehill threw the ball 50 times, so they clearly had a lot of possession. But I mean, I think this was it was a good game to watch as a neutral. I think that's the best way to put it. Kind of a shocker. I mean, Zach Wilson kind of had that coming out game that we knew he had in him. Corey Davis was definitely the star of the show on the receiving end. Keelan Cole, someone that you don't really expect to be getting this really big role for the Jets. We're kind of thinking guys like some other guys like
Mims and Davis.
Mims and Mims and Elijah Moore. I think he might have been out though. Would be getting this big
Oh,
role.
yeah.
Jamison Crowder also had a solid game. Not really. The Titans did a great job kind of holding off the run. I mean, a very impressive game for Isaiah Simmons, who he's been a very impactful player for Tennessee. But I think overall, I mean, that was a bit of a crazy one. And I'm going to be completely honest. I kind of wanted the Titans to win for your sake, but when they were settling for a field with a tie, I was like, I hope they miss because I hate ties. It's like,
I mean, yeah. I mean, we just the biggest problem all day was once again, the offense. The two games that we've lost, the offensive line just did not look good.
yeah.
I don't really know. I didn't watch the game personally, and I haven't watched the entire full game. I've seen highlights, but in terms of the entire game, I've not actually seen it. So I don't know if I need to blame one person or all five of them or all six. But Jesus Christ! I mean, that's kind of a theme. Think about it. The Cardinals game. We gave up a lot of sacks and we lost. The Seattle and Indianapolis game, we minimized our sacks. We won those games.
Yeah.
Go right back to giving up a lot of sacks and we lose. It's like that's what these games is really much the defense or anything else. But yeah. Derrick Henry is already on track to have another 2,000-yard season, which is excellent. He's he's the only he is the only running back in football right now who's averaging over 100 yards a game.
Yeah.
I think that's on. Okay, that's on 113 attempts.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's getting a workload.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And who knows how long? Who knows how? Long have to carry right now because I'm not sure if I haven't actually seen the injury report for the game against Jacksonville.
Yeah,
I think Brown is questionable. He may be back.
I think Julio might be back in. I'm not positive though.
I think Julio might be back. I haven't actually seen anything about it. But we're gonna have to. I mean, this is Jacksonville, and they're currently in turmoil. So if we losing here is probably more embarrassing than losing to New York. But then again, I hope we win. Jesus Christ, this is an embarrassing loss.
Yeah,
it's horrible. Shouldn't have happened. Let's go. Let's talk about something else. What happened?
Steve, all right, so we're gonna go a little quicker now, as because we're somewhat approaching the time.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
But I'll let you kind of go quickly about the Bears game, Steven.
All right, I was in attendance for this game. It was very exciting, full crowd again. Even got to see a McCaskey walking by, getting excited for some plays. But it was a really good game. This is Fields' second start with the Bears, first one without Matt Nagy's play calling Bill Lazor, man in that. But it worked really well. It worked within Nagy's scheme really well, and it led to some great passes by Fields, a great game from Darnell Mooney. A lot more of what we saw last year from Allen Robinson. He made a great catch later in the game. Wasn't too active, but he's going to get back in there. He'll be fine. And the defense did its job. I mean, it was close. It was a little bit closer than it needed to be. Goff did well, but it was a really nice game for the Bears. It was really encouraging about what this offense can still do. And even though Montgomery got injured and Damian Williams is still dealing with a quad issue, optimism is really nice going to Vegas, which you always like since their next 5 games is going to be hell. So we'll see. But it was a really encouraging game. And Quinn and Mac. They're this year they're looking to be what everyone thought they were going to be last year. They've already combined for 8.5 sacks, I think. I mean, they are really nasty on the edge. So we'll see how that progresses, but it's definitely one of the best games you could ask for Week 4. I was really really happy with it.
Yeah. It's pretty fair. I mean, definitely big improvement from the Bears offense. I guess if you don't mind, we'll move past that to the
Sure,
next.
yeah.
Um, I guess let's talk about this one relatively quickly. Washington played. There was 3 games between the NFC East and the NFC South. Washington played Atlanta. This was more of a high-scoring one, a very wild one. Matt Ryan had his first truly good game of the season, but in typical Atlanta Falcons style, they waste that with an atrocious defensive performance. And on special teams, Washington took one down for a touchdown. Heineke got a good drive going, which led to a McKissick touchdown late. That led to Washington winning. On the other end, the Giants went to New Orleans in the first full capacity Saints game since the 2019 season, and what should have been a homecoming for them that they thought could have been kind of like the one at home against Atlanta to kick off that era with Breeze and Peyton. Instead, kind of turned into a disaster. They had the lead for most of the game, but the Giants fought back. Daniel Jones was excellent in that one. I think before the game, I was thinking, if you're betting the spread, take the Giants to cover. They didn't just cover; they won.
Yeah, Daniel Jones. They showed what I've been saying the past 3 weeks, even though I kept getting proven wrong.
Yeah. But the one I want to talk about, Dallas hosted an undefeated Carolina Panthers team. This was a close one early. The teams started exchanging 3-and-outs and then went to exchanging touchdowns. The Cowboys had a couple failed 2-point conversions that may have haunted them, but ultimately didn't. The story of the game was the ground game. Carolina had a historic rushing defense to start a season, was on a historic pace even with the additional 17th game. Um, However, the Cowboys were able to exploit them, whether it be through the fear of letting Dak air it out, just as it had been in the past couple of games. It seems like teams are afraid of Dak Prescott's arm, and instead the Cowboys have punished them through the way of Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, who both had good games. When Dak did have to actually go throw the ball, he did it well, including a very beautiful pass to Mari Cooper. On the Panthers side, on offense, Sam Darnold had 2 rushing touchdowns, and he is currently the rushing touchdown leader. That has to be kind of a surprise there. Um,
Yeah,
um, tired
I
is
mean,
tired as Lamar is the running back, and wired as Josh Allen is the running back, but truly inspired is Sam Darnold is the running back.
all right,
Uh,
Shakespeare.
yeah. But the game kind of got put out of range as Trevon Diggs continued to rack up the interception tally, getting 2. He had a solid game. Joe Brady was pretty smart. He tended to motion DJ Moore off of Diggs in order to get him open, which worked as DJ Moore did have a pretty good game, especially once Diggs wasn't on him. Um, ob- and in the end, I would say that this is a pretty impressive performance for the Cowboys. They did let their foot off the gas at the end, but when it's on it, it's on it. This should be another game like the wins before, where it's like we're happy we won, but there's more we could do better. And I have to give props to our defensive line for standing up as in the big moments, especially in that third quarter when we kind of gave hell to Sam Darnold. Um, but I guess we'll move on quickly now to the NFC West. A big shocker. Arizona beat the Rams, who were looking like the best team in the league going into this game. The Rams didn't even keep it competitive after the first quarter. Kyler Murray just aired it out. Stafford really couldn't respond, and the Cardinals walk away with a very, very big win. And I feel like at this point I had my doubts about them a statement win in Los Angeles to me has to cement them as a postseason team. As long as the wheels don't totally fall off via injury or whatever happens, which hopefully doesn't. Um,
Yeah.
the other game, the Seahawks went to San Francisco and won. However, Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt. Trey Lance came into the game. Trey Lance looked solid. I'd definitely say that he looked better than Jimmy did, but it was still not the best performance. But man, Deebo Samuel had that really impressive play there. I thought that Brandon Ayuk was going to be the one taking that big step forward, but it was Debo that has been just impressive this season. Um, really, Seahawks offense struggled to take flight early, but once they did, Russell Wilson looked really good. They came out with a victory there. The Niners did keep the score close, but it wasn't enough. Um, and then the big game on Sunday, the one that had all the hype. Did it deliver on everything? Not entirely, but it was still a good matchup between the Patriots and the Buccaneers. Tom Brady coming to his old stomping grounds. I would say that the big thing about this game, of course, was it was that. But if I'm totally honest, Mac Jones was the better quarterback on the day, which to me is kind of crazy. But Brady gets the win, and he also passes Drew Brees for the yards record. Um, he was, I believe, 70 or so yards behind. Now he's ahead. You could tell that Buccaneers offense was missing Rob Gronkowski. Neither team was able to establish the run. I would call that an extremely high quality outing by both defenses. In the end, it was a kick that doinked on the post, I believe, that denied the Patriots of a win. Granted, Tom Brady may have been able to take the ball down the field to get one of his own. Um, that was a good game. If either of you have anything to say about that one in particular, go ahead.
No, I mean, just congrats to Brady. Well deserved, no doubt. I mean, he's very good.
Yeah.
So just nice to see.
Um. Yeah. I don't think I'll be able to just, for the sake of time, bring in a bonus minute for today as we're getting
Yeah, no,
pretty
I get it.
close.
I get it.
But this was a fun one to record. Yeah, we kind of paced this one kind of fast. But this was, I know we have predictions, so, but we could probably just get those out in some sort of like written form, whatnot, and we could get those posted. Um, but anyways, thank you guys for listening again. This was fun. And we'll see you.
Yeah, I had a good time. Yeah, hopefully our playoff predictions don't bust.
Please win Dodgers. All right, thank you guys so much.